One of the greatest strengths of Hollow Knight is the ability of the directors to show fully lived in and real feeling environments. Now, this is accomplished through multiple means. The detailed and beautiful background art adds a lot to this, but I think its greatest strength comes from the amount of polish put into every environment in the game. You can tell from playing the game that the game developers put a lot of thought not only to how an environment would look, but an environment's purpose. And I think it's this purpose that drives home how lived in and real all the environments feel in the world of Hollow Knight. Let's take, for example, the Crystal Peak. Now, anyone who plays this game knows what the Crystal Peak is about, and anyone who doesn't know can infer that it's a high up place with a lot of crystals. And that's the general look of the Crystal Peak. It's a place with a lot of crystals. And if it was just a place with a lot of crystals in the game, it wouldn't be that impressive. It would just be like, oh, that's the place with the crystals, right? But the game developers put a lot of thought into what is this place for? What kind of character would be drawn to a place like this? What kind of things would these characters do in this environment? How would they interact with this environment? And the developers were able to answer all these questions and fully flesh out this environment. Not only that, but they were able to present it to the player before they even got to the Crystal Peaks in full. Everything the player needs to know about the Crystal Peak, they learn from their interactions with Mila, the little miner bug in the early game. When the player first encounters Mila, they're traveling through the Forgotten Crossroads, and they enter this sort of decaying-looking mineshaft area. And in this mineshaft area, you meet this little miner bug who's digging and singing a little song. And when you talk to this miner bug, she tells you that she's interested in going to the Crystal Peak because there's a lot of riches there and she wants them. It might not seem like much, but this little interaction tells you everything you need to know about the Crystal Peak. The Crystal Peak is a place full of valuable crystals, and bugs swarm there to get these crystals because they want riches. You can also infer this from the mine shaft that leads up to it. And so later in the game, when you finally get to the Crystal Peak, you see exactly what you knew it already would be. It's a gigantic, old, abandoned mining operation populated by the remains of the miner bugs, who look strikingly like Mila, who wanted riches but eventually lost their mind. And this theme of striking out for greed and losing your mind in the world of Hollow Nest, one of the overarching themes in Hollow Knight, and that ties it back to the overall game. But the thing that really drives the Crystal Peak home in terms of how real it feels is that you know what it was for. You know basically the lore behind it. It was a old mining operation, and you know what happened to it. You know why it is the way it is. All the bugs in there lost their mind because of what happened to Hollow Nest. And this sort of thematic coherence isn't something you'd consciously make note of. It's just something that adds extra depth. But when you think about, okay, what's this environment for? What would the people in this environment do? What would they look like? What would they feel like? What would they want? What is it about these characters in this environment that makes it unique? And this thought that the Hollow Knight game developers put into this makes it feel so much more real and so much more lived in. It makes you want to explore it. It makes it feel like there's a purpose to everything. Like every little nook and cranny has some sort of little story behind it. And they carry this thematic coherence with them through all of their environments in the game. There is a character that's excited to eat mushrooms in a fungal-infested environment. There's a character who's interested in collecting ancient relics in the heart of a lost civilization. These little details seem very obvious when you point them out, but it goes such a long way to making this feel like a lived-in world. And I think because it is something that most people won't consciously notice the first time they play a game is exactly why it should be appreciated. Because we didn't notice it shows how good a job they did in creating this world. Well, that's just a little thing about Hollow Knight that I wanted to talk about. There's a lot in this game that I could cover, and I probably will in future videos. But I hope you enjoyed this little ramble I did, and I hope you enjoyed this illustration I did. It didn't come out fully how I wanted it to, but it was fun to do. Leave a like if you liked this video. Comment what your favorite atmospheric moment in Hollow Knight was, or your favorite area, your favorite little character. I'm a really big fan of Mila. I think she's really cute, and I like her song. But make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.